Okay, so for the contact page, let's actually drag these keyframes over to frame 41. It's going to start in frame 41 and it's going to animate out to frame 50. One way we can do this is we can click up here on the playhead and hit F5 a few times to insert some frames. And then once we get out to frame 50, we'll just click down here on the content layer and hit F6 to add a new keyframe. So now we have the contact information here in the keyframe on frame 41, and we have the same information on the keyframe on frame 50. So we'll go back to 41, click on that movie clip, change color from none to alpha, and then bring that alpha slider down to 0. Right click, create motion tween. So we have the contact page fading in, and once it gets done fading in, we'll create a new keyframe there in frame 50 by hitting F6, hit F9 to open up your actions, and type in your stop action. Now let me show you a shortcut for doing that. Let's erase this, close this, and let's go ahead and get rid of that keyframe. We'll hit Shift F6 to clear that keyframe. What we want to do basically is we want to put another stop action here. Well, we know that all that we have in this frame right here is a stop action, so we can actually copy this frame and paste it over here in frame 50. The keyboard shortcut for doing that is once we have that frame selected, we can hold on to Alt, click on that frame again, drag it to the right, over to frame 50, and then release. And now we have another frame, if we hit F9 to open it up, with that same code in it, with that same stop action. So that's a very easy way to copy and paste an actions keyframe. Okay, so for our products layer, let's drag this first keyframe over to frame 61, and we'll have it animate out to frame 70. So in frame 70 for the content layer, we'll hit F6 to add a new keyframe there where our products are fully faded in. We'll jump back to frame 61, click on that movie clip, change color from none to alpha, bring that alpha slider down to 0, then right click between those keyframes and create a motion tween. And then we'll just extend the frames out for the products layer. We also need to put a stop action here in frame 70. So once again, we can click on frame 50 to select the last stop action we created, hold on to the Alt key or the Option key if you're using a Mac, and click and drag that stop action over to frame 70. So now we have another copy of that stop action. Okay, so all of the extra frames out here we don't need anymore, so we can click and drag around all of those frames to select them. And then the keyboard shortcut for just deleting frames is Shift F5. Now make sure you don't accidentally select these last keyframes here when you hit Shift F5. We don't want to delete those. And then for our top action layer, we'll just go up to frame 70 and hit F5 to extend those frames all the way out, just so that we have a nice flush right side of our timeline there. Okay, so we've created the animations, but you'll find that these animations still don't work. If we hit Control Enter, go to About Us, that doesn't do anything. Contact, it doesn't do anything. Products, all we're seeing is a blank screen. And that's because we're still telling it to go to and stop. So if we go to and stop the frame labeled About, we're at the beginning of that animation where the movie clip is still invisible. So instead of stopping, we need to go to and play the About frame, and the Contact frame, and the Products frame, and the Home frame. So we'll go up here to frame 10, where we have our Actions layer, hit F9 to open up our actions, and inside each of these functions, we're simply going to change these to go to and play. Make sure you use a capital P in play. The capitalization is very important when you're dealing with ActionScript. So we change all those to play. Now we hit Control Enter to test. Our home page fades in. We click on About Us. It fades in. Contact. That works as well. Products. And then we just want to make sure the home page works as well, the home button. Click on that, and the home page fades in again. So we can click in any order on any of these buttons, and the pages will fade in just fine. So that's how you can create animated transitions using ActionScript. So let's go to File, Save As. In our Project Files folder, instead of Simple, we'll save this one as Animated Transitions.fla. So we'll save that, and we'll move on with the next video.